Who knew that a young boy from a large PEI family, the son of a fisherman, would become the business icon we see today? But early on in life, the signs were there that Pat Butler was a hustler. He was 10 years old, going door to door in his village, selling fish. By 18, he was on his way to Toronto, with very little money in his pocket but a strong belief in himself. He soon landed his first job in the car business, a car lot attendant. Before long, he was selling cars and eventually managing dealerships.
As low as $49.
Early in his journey in the car business, Pat met the love of his life, Elaine. They moved to Ottawa in 1964 and raised their 5 children together. Pat landed a job with Harry Delary at his Ford dealership in Stittsville, just beyond the fringe. He was in his early 30s when he managed to scrape enough money together to buy his first dealership, Mackenzie Mercury, in Ottawa's West End. The seeds of a dynasty were planted.
Probably the most competitive guy I've ever met in my life.
Les Bell was a young chartered accountant the very first time he was hired by Pat in the 1980s.
Pat was a very, very demanding guy.
2 strong-willed people butted heads often, and Les ended up quitting.
I always say it was probably, from a career perspective, the best decision I ever made, because as soon as I made that decision, Pat came across the room, put his arm around me and said, "You will be back in the car business within 2 years." It actually happened.
Les Bell is now the dealer at Lincoln Heights Ford Lincoln, where Pat started his automotive dynasty. Pat also hired and mentored chartered accountant Lynn Norton nearly 25 years ago.
With all my degrees and my business knowledge, I thought I was suited for industry. Then I met Pat, and Pat taught me a whole new degree. It's called the street degree. He's the smartest guy in the street of anyone I know.
Lynn helped Pat launch RV Canada in Ottawa in 2003.
Pat saw an industry that was ripe for revolution and consolidation. The industry is 20 years behind the car business.
The Butler Group now runs a string of 35 RV dealerships and 2 campgrounds nationwide. There are also Harley-Davidson dealerships, Powersports Canada, and a string of car dealerships. Lynn Norton is now the dealer principal at Barhaven Ford.
Started in the middle of a cornfield. His daughter, Charlene, joined the company in 1999. And she was one of the very first female dealer principals in the city of Ottawa in the automotive industry.
Pat Butler also began Ottawa Auto Dealers Exchange more than 30 years ago, along with Jim Hallett, another one of his protégés.
I've always admired the way that Pat thinks about business and how he thinks about his family, his friends, his employees, and his community. And Pat has often said to me, "Jim, you can't get rich unless you enrich others."
As his empire has grown, he's looked for other ways to advantage the disadvantaged in our community.
Pat has always avoided the spotlight, and that includes his charity work.
We're extremely fortunate to have Pat here in Ottawa.
When former Ottawa Senators President Cyril Leeder left the hockey team in 2017, one of the first people to reach out to him was Pat. Cyril soon landed as president of the Myers Group, a competitor.
He welcomed me as a competitor. He says, "Look, Ottawa's a big city. Said it's a great industry, and there's lots of room at the table."
Pat is now in his 80s. He and Elaine enjoyed 62 years of marriage until she passed on. He's watched his family grow with 12 grandchildren and 20 great-grandchildren now in the mix. Many his age are long retired. Pat keeps pushing.
Pat is pedal to the metal every day. We spend our days just trying to catch up to him. We've been adding about 5 acquisitions per year. Really, that man needs a new hobby.
That kid from PEI has done all right with his hustle and drive, with his dreams of what could be, and his ability to make those dreams come to life. Along the way, he's enriched so many lives.
I can't thank you enough for everything that you've done for me and for the greater Ottawa community.
Congratulations, this is well deserved, and thank you for all you've done for the Ottawa business community and for the city as a whole.
Boss, a well-deserved lifetime achievement for all your hard work.
The world needs more leaders like Pat Butler, and I just wish you good luck and God bless you going forward.